So welcome to the Garage Window Railway. This is a long waited for engine. Regrettably it's not mine. My friend who has Pentragwaith received his order today from Rails of Sheffield. Mine are due in tomorrow from Cheltenham Model Centre. But I really haven't seen what's inside this box, so I'm hoping this model is everything as bit as good as the Hawthorne Leslie that they produced last year. So let's open it up and see. Real unboxing. Not looked inside this before. The usual Dapol casing, nice and solid, with a solid foam on the inside, which is going to struggle to be removed, but nice solid piece of foam for that. And there she is, an Armstrong 517 class 042, a precursor of the 48XX, with a goodie bag. And it appears to be on a plinth tray. We've seen that with some other models. In the goodie bag, buffered beam details, two lovely etched number plates. When mine arrives tomorrow, I'll certainly be putting those on that. Yes, just buffer beam details and some number plates, but etched plates, really good sign of the value of this locomotive. And there's a lovely sheen to the locomotive, and that electroplated brass looks really good. And from the look of it, she has a proper metal cap to the chimney. So we'll take the end plates out, and out she comes. Neatly screwed to it to keep it safe, without any bubble packaging and clamshell rubbing on the bodywork and needing protecting. So, putting the packaging to one side. First impressions of the locomotive. Lovely finish to it, lovely rivet detail along the side of the tanks, a fitted bracket, lamp bracket on the side of the cab, beautiful interior detail for the cab itself, with lovely painted details on both the water level indicator and the separate control rods, pipework delicately picked out in brass. A lovely set of detail around the background. We've got a separately fitted hook above the NEM coupling, but no chain and none in the bag. That should be easy to rectify. And rather lovely orange lining on red, the late 1800s livery that my friend has chosen for his engine. So really rather wonderful. Nice whistles on top of the cab. And of course the tall chimney which pervaded on some of the earlier models. This one also doesn't have a bell pair firebox, so you've got the rounded firebox underneath the safety valve, and in common with the previous three Dapol models, the safety valve has details in the top for the pressure release tappets. All the handrails are neatly in place, and they're all made of metal, so really lovely little model. Underframe detail is good, and I can't see if there's any detail before the frames, but there does appear to be a little detail in between the frames as well. You go gently around towards the camera. So the next job is to gently remove her from the frame, and I suspect I need a screwdriver for that. Fortunately, here's one I fetched earlier. Two long screws, about 16mm long each, maybe 18. And two brass retaining pieces later, and indeed now that we can see underneath, it's quite clear that you've got the valve gear inside the frames depicted out in a rather nice red colour. So, feels quite weighty for a small tank engine, so getting my trusty scales out. She weighs in at 166 grams with no crew. She'll weigh a bit more when we put the crew in the back of the locomotive, but there is one really nice heavy Owen for Sam's trains, sprung buffered, with two NEM pockets that you can get at and change easily, and the usual splonger underneath the cover at the front to get in at the DCC socket without having to take the body off. But a nice heavy locomotive. Time to get her on the track. So there she is sitting on the track, and it's noticeable that the sprung compensated centre wheels are really good at keeping those wheels in contact. And in this light, the red underframes really stand out very nicely indeed, along with all the excellent lining around the edges of the underframe and the steps and the wheels. Even the silver lining on the top of the splashers at the front. Time to give her a first run. So there we are, running complete. 30 minutes each way, always good to give an engine a good run in, and absolutely problem free, not a single derailment. Wouldn't expect anything on my track because I'm using SL medium points and large radius curves at either end, but even so, we do get the occasional derailment in the tunnel. So here we are, let's see what the crawl is like now that we've run it in. I'm using a Gauge Master walkabout controller with a 16 volt AC power supply, and let's just see what the crawl is like, turning up slowly. Just a little sign of cogging. But runs smoothly. Coming back, and that firebox glow is really rather good. No problem with that. That's a Bachmann shunter's truck connected to the locomotive with no problem at all. Next, up the slope on my branch line, which climbs 9 and a bit centimetres in just over 3 metres, so it's about a 3% slope. No problem there. So there we are, a rather beautiful and good running new Dapol edition. I can't wait for mine to arrive tomorrow.